Gilbert and Sullivan, the Mikado, Iolanthe and the Pirates of Penzance. I found a Gilbert and Sullivan double LP for £1 in the charity shop in Cosy Corner, Haslemere. I also found one for £3 at the British Heart Foundation in Aylesbury. The double LP I found in Haslemere has the Mikado and Iolanthe. I am fairly familiar with the Mikado. It has some catchy songs and memorable tunes. It uses a lot of that cliché Japanese tonality that is like playing the black notes on a piano. But the composer Sir Arthur Sullivan cannot be solely blamed for inventing that cliché, as Puccini did much the same thing in Madame Butterfly. I knew the famous songs and I was looking for deep cuts, pieces of note, pieces I was not familiar with, and I can't say I found them. The unmemorable pieces are just like the memorable ones, only less memorable. I was sure I would find what I was looking for in Iolanthe. I thought a comic opera about fairies and the House of Lords would have been more exuberant. I am sure I have seen clips of something quite grand, something a bit like Verdi's Aida. But the most memorable piece was one of those clever wordy recitals that were adapted by Tom Lehrer for his comic cynicism. In the late 19th century, Gilbert and Sullivan were knocking out comic operas like they were going out of fashion. They are as English as you can get, yet they are revered around the world. And to this day they have devotees who pride themselves in being able to sing those intricate W.S. Gilbert lyrics, where each well-constructed line contains an internal rhyme, and when it gets to the end, it repeats again and again and again, and again and again and again. So I found the Mikado and Iolanthe underwhelming, but the Pirates of Penzance is everything I wanted it to be. I have always been fairly familiar with the Pirates of Penzance. When my father first brought home a dance-set-like record player, we only had an old pile of 78s. I remember we had Frankie Lane and Johnny Ray. Poor old Johnny Ray. And we also had an album of Pirates of Penzance discs. However, many of the discs were broken. I remember my father playing the discs he could and intriguing me with his description of the battles between pirates and policemen. It is music that has travelled with me through life, though I have only now listened to the whole album. The Pirates of Penzance is totally daft, but it has possibly the most memorable of Sullivan's tunes and the cleverest of Gilbert's lyrics. The rhyming is epic. The Major General song is possibly the best known, with its ludicrous, strained comic couplets that even make fun of the art of rhyming, and particularly the rhyming of its author. There are other great tunes like Poor Wandering One, and clever pieces like A Policeman's Lot Is Not a Happy One, but the big standout melodies can be found in the chorus parts. The policeman singing Tarantula, and the pirates clumsily singing with cat-like tread, and the big melody that goes da 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 da. In the 1980s, a reworked version of Pirates of Penzance became quite successful on Broadway and in the West End. The score was rewritten in more of a musical theatre style. It starred musical theatre regulars such as Paul Nicholas and Tim Curry. A less popular film was made based on that production, and it starred Kevin Kline, Angela Lansbury and Linda Ronstadt. That film is available on YouTube. It is a cheerful, colourful romp with great tunes. It may be a bit too long, but it is free. The Pirates of Penzance, Gilbert and Sullivan, and the Mikado and Iolanthe.